Thank you, Andrew. And look, go off and vote, defend democracy, do all those important things.
Thank you very much, Lloyd. I appreciate the understanding. You know what it's like to be whipped.
Yeah, I know. Well, let's not carry that too far. I just want to say a couple of words, because I really was interested in the views and in interpretations, but you know, Zena Atchison would say when you're in it for creation, it becomes an experience that never ever leaves. And in the 27 years I was in elected office, there's no question that being part of the decision on the charter was by far the most important, and will always be my standard for what is and how you can become making liberal public policy that serves the ages and the generations. But let me just tell you one background. It wasn't that easy. And I will just describe a caucus meeting that started at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I was Minister of Immigration at the time, so I had a kind of interest because we were engaged very much in the sort of settlement of large numbers of people from Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, the boat people. And group rights were very front and center about what happens when they arrive. We ended up settling over 100,000 of the boat people, and it's been a great contribution to the country. But at the time, we weren't sure. And the debate at the time, I'm, as you know, from Manitoba, we had Sterling Lyon as our premier. And Sterling was leading the opposition in the country. But he was doing so, I think, not just out of a reactionary basis, that might have been part of it, but there was a very definitive philosophical difference about how you protect rights in a country. And because of that long tradition of British Parliament, there was a view, and it was expressed in the caucus, that the best way to express rights is not to register and write them, but to let them become organically expressed. That was not the view of the majority. And Prime Minister Pear of the time gave us an opportunity as parliamentarians to debate that from 6 till about 1 o'clock in the morning. Moral being, you have to do everything to protect the rights of Parliament and the independence of parliamentarians, because that is where the ultimate sort of choice is going to be made in our representative democracy. And it was really, it wasn't foreordained, it wasn't fixed, there was no sort of prearranged formula or recipe. It really came down to a serious debate, grunching debate, because it took you right down to where you were, what deeply did one believe in. And finally, when they ended, the Prime Minister, Trudeau at the time, who had extreme patience in being able to listen, finally said, okay, we have a choice. It's the Cadillac or the Volkswagen. What do you want to do? Do you want to do something that's going to break new ground and respond to a very, as Marilou said, an incredible articulate expression around the country of various groups and backgrounds, and women did lead the charge without a doubt? Or are we going to be comfortable in our parliamentary traditions? And where are we going to go? And there was a moment of silence, and everybody with unanimous voice said, we're going the Cadillac route. It's hard to express, even without choking just a little bit, how important that moment was when a group of men and women who had been elected as liberals. I mean, there's no question the other parties were involved. Well, one was opposed, but that was a decision that was made by the election of that time. And it was one of the great moments. And what it has meant, without a question of a doubt, is I think all your panelists said so. We now live in a charter generation, and we have rights that are so fundamentally privileged compared to 90% of the world. And furthermore, we also have a certain degree of barricade against the challenge to those rights, which is happening everywhere. I spent a good part of this last year working on refugee issues in Europe, particularly in Germany. You can see the walls crumbling, and when you ask the question, what are the challenges they had, I can tell you, the one thing that wasn't mentioned is the almost insidious impact of the word security as a way of overcoming the rights of people. And that right to have free thought, that right to have free media, that right to have a free opportunity to think, and through that, to be creative, to be innovative, to make changes. Without it, you don't do it. So what do we see? Yesterday, Trump administration talking about a new libel law. We're seeing in Turkey the arrest of thousands of journalists and media. In Russia, the ability to intercede into the new media and distort and corrupt. There aren't many places in the world where there aren't real efforts to suppress that fundamental right. And that wasn't the group right. That wasn't 50. That was fundamental rights, the right to assemble and speak without freedom of persecution. And I think I agree with many of you. I think we have to get our own thoughts straight in this country about what's the balance. There's no doubt that there is a security threat and risk, but I think this is going to have to be a major parliamentary discussion. I think it has to be discussion, in the parties themselves, because if we simply let it sort of take step by step, you're going to have every former CISA's agent who appears on CBC op-ed pages saying, "Oh my God, if we don't do this, the enemy is coming." Well, there are enemies out there, but if we also give up on those fundamental rights, then there isn't much left. So I'd simply say to you, kind of as somebody who is now in that highly respected, and I hope for a little longer of being an elder in the crowd, just take my word that that moment in 1983 that we passed that on behalf of a Liberal government, on behalf of Canadians, was one of the finest moments, I think, in the history of this country. And it's something that I know all of you are here because you are blessed with it, but I also believe what was said, that you have to be eternally vigilant to make sure that it grows and continues to be the response. And I agree also that we have to be a little bit more solicitous of protecting the courts and not forcing them to make judgments they shouldn't be making. And that means Parliament has to pick up its act. Thank you very much.